Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Power 3. We are here finally on live. We had some brief technical difficulties, but that shit got ironed out slowly but surely. We are glad that you are here with us, Contessa. I'm glad that you are joining, my love. I appreciate you. We are happy to have you here. Hopefully, you're watching on one of our YouTubes. If you are not watching on a YouTube, please do so. YouTube is a platform that respects and value content creators. All three of us are on that platform. You can watch any of our pages. Is fine because all three of us are monetized on that platform. There are other platforms that are extremely hostile to us, but we're only streaming there because we know that we have friends there for now. Soon we're going to stop. Next week, Kenny has secured for us our first in live studio guest. Kenny, tell us about who's coming to join us next week.
So Isaiah Martin, who just announced that he is running for Congress, he is trying to fill Sylvester Turner's seat, who just passed away. He is running for Congress, you guys. So let's make sure that we have people in the room who are willing to put in the work and actually represent us and have our best interests.
Nancy Pelosi said, "I myself don't give away anything for nothing." I think that's what.
It's a live show, baby. It's a live show, and you never know what happens. But Kenny, go ahead.
Let me right. Look, goddamn, let me explain something. I'm producing and trying to host, but it's now here's the thing. People who are like hosts of shows, like you want to be an executive producer because you can organize and tell how the shit will flow. That's the good thing about it. But the downside about it, because hell, it's not like we got no fucking money. You want to give us some money? Give us a goddamn super chat. Give us a super chat or give us some kind of donation. Maybe we can pay for production. Now we do have someone, shout out to Ashton. She is going to take these clips and make some clips for us to put some online clips because we are not doing a good job of posting after show clips to like let people know what we're doing because there's some good shit happening here. So shout out to Ashton. She's going to get this tonight. She'll clip it hopefully by Friday. We'll start dropping some clips. But yeah, so toggling back and forth between two different screens on a mic, shit's gonna play. It is what it is. We got some shit coming up from Chuck Schumer. You about to watch it. Okay.
But going back to what Kenny was saying, Isaiah Martin.
So he will be in the studio building with us. He will be talking about his campaign, what he wants to do when he gets to Congress. And it's just good. I mean, I've known Isaiah for about maybe 3 years now. He's real, folks, and he really is about the business. It's important that a lot of people step the hell down and that young people step the hell up. And he's one of those people who's ready to step up and fight for us. So please donate if you can to Isaiah Martin. Go to his website, IsaiahMartinForCongress.org. Or you can go follow him on Instagram. He goes TikTok live still to this day.
Yeah.
So he's always talking to the people and always making sure that he has his ear to the streets on what really is important to the people.
And can I say,
Isaiah. Yeah, you can add in.
Let me add in and say, excellent use of social media and a great, like, this is why we want younger folks, not just because we have bold, fresh, new ideas and we're younger faces and we'll be able to have different perspectives, but it's also the use of communication tools. I don't know if y'all saw, if folks are not necessarily as aware of Isaiah Martin, he's been going on TikTok live, talking to people, educating people, even people he doesn't agree with, which I really love. Y'all know I love that shit. He sits down with people from all different walks of life that have questions and or want to debate him on the issues. And today he actually posted a video of somebody coming on to his TikTok show, TikTok live, and asking him, what do you care? What do you think about healthcare? Where do you stand on that issue? And he actually said his side of the story, but then clipped it and put it on Instagram. Excellent usage of being able to, you know what I'm saying, put the messaging out there, but then being very succinct and clear about what he stood on. So, and I like his position on healthcare. So, 100%, I'm excited to see him next week on the show.
And also think about what questions that you guys may have that you want to ask Isaiah because he'll be here. We'll be able to put some of the questions like right here with this comment. We'll post it up and we will be able to ask him these questions. We know Isaiah. We've met Isaiah multiple times. We're friends with Isaiah. We engage with Isaiah. We talk with Isaiah. We know this man. And so I'm excited to see him run and excited to kind of really dig into the viability of his campaign. And that's kind of where I'm going to take it and kind of how I'm going to bring it, to the table. And we love you, LLS, but we love you even more when you watch on YouTube because here's the thing. We just saw a huge graphic come out that talked about the liberal or the lack thereof of a liberal media sphere. When you follow us on YouTube, you're building up our channels. Like, you're helping us truly have the level of influence and viability of our channels to continue this work. We're not asking for donations. We're not asking for you to fund what we do. We are self-funded. We are paying for the work ourselves, but we are asking you to watch us on YouTube and to like, subscribe, and then share it on YouTube, because that is how we're able to build our platforms. Now, a lot of people are talking about wanting to see the shift in having younger people in Congress and time for some motherfuckers to step down. And that's really the whole point of today's discussion. Talking to OK Boomer, here's a problem with Chuck Schumer. And so there's a lot to say. People, there's a lot to say. Man, I know you have a lot to say. I'm going to just simply queue up, I think, here this video, because I want to give Chuck Schumer a chance to say for himself what the fuck he's thinking. Why did he do what he did? And I'm gonna, in all honesty and fairness, I want to be as fair to Leader Schumer as possible. And I really think that his variety of interviews, his entire press tour, media tour, has been to the benefit of his point. And I think there are a lot of people watching out there who probably have been convinced by Leader Schumer that maybe he did the right thing. So we're going to share this clip from a journalist who I've never watched his show. Do not watch All In with Chris Hayes. Do not like All In with, just don't like Chris Hayes. But I know some of you do. But I did see this clip on the YouTube when I was specifically searching for Senator Schumer's best words. I know he was on The View. That was, to me, not as good of an interview from him. He didn't do as good of a job on his appearances on the Sunday shows, nor on The View the way that he did in this interview with Chris Hayes, to really give his perspective in a way that I think presents his best defense. So let's take a look at that together. Hopefully it's going to play with no problems. It just played a minute ago.
The only leverage we had, they weren't going to negotiate with us. So there were two choices only. It would be nice if we had a...
It's a live show, baby. It's a live show. All right, wait a minute. Hold on. There's no audio. People in the comment section saying there's no audio, and I can't hear it either.
Okay, before we get to the clip, while we're working on that
no
technical
audio?
difficulty.
No.
There was never audio?
No. It cut out. It cut out in the beginning.
It started at first.
Hold on. It started off and then it came back. What about now?
If you don't have a shutdown, you can go to court. And we've had some successful results in the courts. A lot of the judges...
Wait. Can you play it back from the beginning?
You cannot. I'm not, because that's what causes it to stop. So let it play.
No court. They make the decision, and they can make it quickly, easily, and across the whole federal government, not just the things that were in the CR.
But here's to me my understanding of the critique.
This ain't no goddamn TV studio shit.
Here, which is about
it's gonna be what you get. You're gonna get what you get. Shit.
And the appropriate tactics to meet them. And so what I think people think is, first of all, we all know the Senate functions on unanimous consent. It's how anything happens. We've watched real pains in the butt, Tommy Tuberville, basically bring the place to a halt. Just denying unanimous consent because he was mad the Department of Defense might somewhere pay for a portion, right? The idea of how cataclysmic that shutdown, I hear what you're saying. But what I'm hearing from people, and there's a lot of them, is right now a crisis is happening unlike anything the Republic has faced, maybe since even the Civil War. Right. Most Americans don't quite grasp it. And it's your job as the most powerful Democrat to use whatever tactics you have to communicate that. And by going along with this, you have missed this opportunity to tell the nation
there's only one,
just how bad it is.
There's only one choice.
Open your eyes, Chuck.
Shut down. We have to pick the fights, and I want to fight Trump as much as anybody and stop him and not give Republicans sucker help.
Do you?
In this situation,
but doesn't it call the question? But doesn't it call the question? Doesn't the crisis create the attentional vortex that is necessary? Because right now, people have no idea that they're going to basically get rid of all of American universities and all of American science funding. Yeah. We try to communicate it every night, but there's nothing like a crisis to drive that.
But the drama of the shutdown, eliminating all of these things would do such damage substantively that I couldn't tolerate it. I couldn't live with it. You know, I know there's the idea that, okay, people will sit and negotiate with us because they're doing bad things. That ain't these Republicans.
But you can't in one breath. I want to jump in here because
I can't stop it. It's done. That's good. Yeah, take it away. It stopped.
This is the problem. The problem is that this motherfucker was interviewed by, I think the New York Times, was on Fox News. They reported on Fox News, whatever, all these different news outlets, where he was saying, well, when you're on the elliptical or when you're on the bike that's stationary and you're pedaling and you're sweaty in the gym, your inhibitions drop and the Republicans are now going to play games. They said they're going to play ball. You can't say that and then in the same breath say this shit on MSNBC. Like, which one is it? And then the other thing is, I'm glad Sonny Hostin called his ass out for caving, because somebody in the fucking media got to do it. And if it's not going to be right, people in the comment section saying they're confused. People in the comment section on Twitter were confused. Everybody's confused. Chuck, you spent your entire time saying that this was the cataclysmic event that was going to cause the apocalypse. That Trump and everything that they were doing with Doge and all the cuts, which we all agree, we all know that. Then you say they're not going to have the votes because the Democrats are going to fight back tooth and nail. The next day, you fucking change your mind, break, and instead of getting all the people in your caucus, because you are the minority leader in the Democrat Party in the Senate, to be able to get together and band together to be obstructionist and use the same fucking filibuster that you told us would be used for a time like this. We told your ass to blow up the filibuster and pass other things like the voting rights, like other things like abortion rights, like other things that we needed, that we could have done during the Biden-Harris administration. But your ass and other old guard Democrats said, no, let's keep it, because if it switches and they get into power, they're going to use the power of the 51. Okay, great. So let's use that framework, which clearly didn't work. Then your ass now had the opportunity to obstruct with the filibuster that you defended when we could have passed shit, and then you didn't. You didn't use it. They gave you nothing. You lost all your leverage and you caved. They need you for nothing else. This is the problem with you. And this is why we want you the fuck out of here. And why everybody wants you the fuck up out of here. That's the problem.
Everybody wants him gone. There were people on Twitter. I think they may have been bots, but there were people on my post about tonight's show questioning and saying things like, isn't he right? So is he right? Like, you know, if the government would have shut down and Republicans would have refused to reopen it because it only can reopen through the actions of the executive branch, and then prioritize what they thought was essential and fund it through the executive power, only what they thought was essential, and kept the government shut down for 6 to 9 months, at least until September, would that have been more catastrophic for the American people and for the viability of the Democratic Party?
No, because the problem is that he was scared they were going to call it the Schumer shutdown. That's the problem. And my argument with that is, how the fuck are you going to be mad about that, bitch? It is your job to communicate with the American people and make sure that you flip and spin the fucking shit. How it was the easiest fucking story that you could have told. The reality is the Republicans control the House, the Senate, the presidency, and damn the fucking judiciary. Everybody knows that. All you had to do was consistently say that ad nauseum. Get all the Senate Democrats on the same page to say that ad nauseum on the Sunday shows, the Monday shows, the Tuesday shows, the Wednesday shows, the podcasts, the fucking everything. That's all. You spin the fucking story. And with, as Chris Hayes said, I'm glad that he brought it up in the clip, you motherfucking use the crisis of the shutdown, which will be covered 24/7 every single day. That's what you do. You use the media is going to cover this because it's what it is, and the people that would be affected, the beneficiaries of these checks, Medicare, Social Security, all this shit that's being affected, you blame it on Trump every single night. They cave, and here's the problem.
And it
They
is
didn't.
Trump's fault.
It is a Trump,
Trump's fault.
but they didn't want the government. This is the problem. This is the argument that I'm not seeing anywhere. They don't want the government to shut down. How do we know that? Because the next fucking hour that Schumer voted for it, here comes Trump. Thank you for doing the great thing. You're doing America's work.
You're doing the bidding of the Republican Party.
Exactly.
I want to hear what y'all takes are, but that's mine.
See, my shit about it is, it's interesting enough that he's concerned about Democrats taking the L on this, but when the government shut down in 2018 the first time, who was blamed for the government shutdown? Donald Trump. Who controlled the narrative back then? Democrats. So why couldn't we control the narrative again? The government was shut down for 35 days, the longest that it's ever been in history under the Trump administration the first time. So if history told you that we were able to control the narrative before, why did you think we couldn't do it before? This is the reason why Chuck got to get the fuck on. His pterodactyl ass and his beak needs to get the fuck up out of the damn Senate. I'm sick of seeing him. He has no motherfucking backbone. And this is the part where I'm starting to have issues.
Time to pass the torch.
He needs to retire. He needs to sit the fuck down. He's not the old Schumer that everybody keeps telling me about. He's not that person. He's not that girl. And the problem that I'm having is the mere fact that Schumer ain't shit. But for some odd reason, because Schumer ain't shit, Hakeem is getting all the damn shots towards his motherfucking ass when he did what he was supposed to do in Congress. But again, the onus is always going to be on black people to save this damn country from itself. Even though, and I want to steer it back to the people real quick, I understand that people have righteous anger at the Democratic Party. However, let's be real quick. We need to bring it and only hold the 10 Democrats that voted for this CR accountable. We cannot sit here and wipe our ass with a whole party because of what 10 motherfuckers decided to do. It's just like me having kids and one child fucks up, so I beat everybody's ass. We do not need to do that. I am not going to abandon the Democratic Party and say, you know what, I'm just going to switch to independent, because what will happen then is if we're going to be replacing these motherfuckers in the House and the damn Senate, how the fuck can I ever hold them accountable and support their primary challenge in a closed primary if I'm not a motherfucking Democrat? So let's be very, very mindful of what we're doing and not just operating off of our emotion. Let's think tactically here.
Well, but
It
here's
may be
go
to a
ahead.
certain
Go ahead,
extent. To a certain extent, Kenny. Like I am going to definitely be the one to say that I'll walk tomorrow if I don't see the Democratic. If the Democratic Party abandons black voters and they abandon LGBTQ voters, I'm done. Fuck them. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing the game of we gotta win white voters. I firmly stand in the belief that while it is wonderful to talk to everybody in America and try to pull everybody in America, going to the center, trying to be more moderate is not the answer. That's my belief. That's it might be wrong. It might be, but it's what Zachary believes. It's what I'm standing in. I don't believe that you can convince MAGA voters to not be MAGA voters. I literally saw an article today where the man, I think it's Brantley Bradley, whose wife was from Peru. They got married. They went on vacation in Puerto Rico. They came back. She was detained. Now she is sitting in Jena, Louisiana, detained, like other migrants to the country who are undocumented. And he literally said, although he's lost his wife, who has been a part of his life for like 6 years as his, girlfriend, then fiance, then wife, literally said that he still doesn't regret his vote. There is they have taken your wife, bruh. They have taken your wife. There is nothing in this world that can change the minds of these people. So I don't want, and what I'm seeing is a Democratic Party trying to change their minds, trying to go at, because the leaders of the party, the majority of the party, as are the majority of Americans, are white. And so they're wondering, why is it that my white parents don't understand? Why is it that my white friends, my white husband, my white wife, why don't they understand? Why is it when I go to my church that isn't grounded in any theology, because it's non-denominational and evangelical? It's not grounded in like a Baptist theology or Methodist theology or Presbyterian theology or any kind of like real steady theology. They go to these places and they're like, I don't understand why my neighbors and people around me do not, why they feel this way. Instead of looking at the fact that they're 90 million voters out there who just didn't vote for a lot of good reasons, but they just didn't vote. They want to run behind these people that are so far gone they can't be brought in. That is the party I want to see, and that is the work I want to see. Get off your asses and get these people who chose not to vote because of disinformation around Israel, Palestine, Democratic policy, Republican policy. Get off your ass and convince them to vote. Give them something to vote for. That is where I am. So when I'm saying I will walk and withhold my allegiance to the party, that's what I mean when I say that. Because I'm absolutely saying Zachary Kirk is proud to be an independent progressive until the Democratic Party gets their shit together. Now back to Chuck Schumer. And I know you both probably have something to say about that. We'll let you say it. I'm sure some good comments have come in about that. I'm gonna let the comments come in too. But I want to say that in regards to Chuck Schumer and what he's wanting to do and how that we're moving, I think that when you look at the possibility of a shutdown and what could have happened, it has to happen. It has to happen. The Democratic Party has to start letting people truly fuck around and find out and let go of the old ass playbook that they're playing by.
But that's the old playbook. The old playbook is, well, the Republicans will at some point come around. That's been his entire argument and what he said every single time. And if you look, this isn't the first time that he said the same thing. Even the comment about the people in the Republicans in the gym on the elliptical or the fucking Stairmaster or whatever the fuck it is, he's made this comment in the early 2000s. There's him on video doing it. So the reality is he's using the same old playbook, and this is again why we need to remove him from power. But to the point that you made about the Democrat Party, I think for me it's not even about the elected officials, because I think oftentimes when we think about the Democrat Party, we're often thinking about our favorites in the Democrat Party. Like we're thinking about the Jasmine Crockett's, and we're thinking about Angela Alsobrooks, and we're thinking about. When I say the Democrat Party and I gotta get its shit together, I'm talking about me. When I say that, I'm not talking about our favorite elected officials.
No,
I'm talking about the political apparatus that doesn't have the sobering, hard conversations say, Chuck, that I don't know if it's Ken Martin. I don't know how that works because, there's 3 different arms, but I don't know if it's Ken Martin coming down and sitting the fuck down with Chuck Schumer and saying, bitch, get the fuck out.
I think they agree with him, Brian. I think they agree with Chuck.
But for me, and I don't know that, so I'm not going to make that statement. What I'm going to say is, for me, the political apparatus needs to have a change, and part of that change has to be having real conversations. I like the people that talk straight. I like the people like Jasmine Crockett who are constantly asked that question. We always talk about Jasmine Crockett, but what I'm saying is it's not necessarily just how she's been messaging and what she's been talking about. When she's asked questions about Chuck Schumer, she's answered them. And she said, I disagree. When Chris Murphy, who's in the Senate, asked that question, I disagree with him. Was pressed on it on multiple shows that I've watched multiple interviews, and he said, no, yeah. It showed people were like, well, it seems like he capitulated, and he's like, yeah, because you can't hide it. I like people who talk straight and don't try to sugarcoat it and trying to no. But again, I'm talking about we got to be very clear. And if the political apparatus, the people, the heads over there, not having those conversations with those people, because again, this is the other problem: the party boss system. Because that shit has remained the same. And I made this point yesterday on the show. The reality is the reason why Chuck Schumer is there, because I heard this argument too in the comment section and people making videos. Well, the reason Chuck Schumer's not going anywhere and he will stay. And the reason why he will stay is because he raises the most money. You know why this is the problem? Because he raises the fucking most money. But here's the thing. I need people to understand this. If you raise the most money, I don't want you leading the party. Now, that's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to tell you why.
You're beholden to the money.
You're beholden to the money, and you're beholden to the big donors who are the big corporate interests and the billionaires and the millionaires. You don't have, and you're not beholden to the people who can't give you a fucking donation or who give you $1, $2, and $5 every single time. The people who can connect with the most people and find inspiration and see those small dollar donations, that's who I want leading the fucking party. And I don't see anybody else having that conversation, and nobody's motherfucking making that point, but that's who I want leading the party. But the Democrat Party is not having that conversation. Yeah. And that's my problem.
And I don't want I don't want the small dollar donor winners leading the party, because small dollar donors ain't gonna they ain't gonna make enough money. I hate to say it, I don't want the big money leading the party. I don't want the small donors leading the party. I want the best people with the best vision leading the party.
But the people, but my argument,
just because you
no,
get
no,
these
let me
small
hear,
dollar
let me,
donors, it doesn't mean
no,
that's not going to finance the work that we need.
No, let me say this. Let me make this point. What I'm saying is the person who usually connects with the most amount of people to inspire even those small dollar donations is usually the person with the best vision, and usually the best person with the ideas that connects with those people that wants to bring them in. That's how we bring in those 90 million people that didn't motherfucking vote. Because those people are disaffected, disillusioned, and don't vote because they feel that the government apparatus doesn't work for them. And currently, what they see it as is if we're defending the status quo, that we're also part of the problem. And I don't want to be a part of that vision and or a part of that conflation anymore. That's my argument. And we need bold ideas and different change.
But here's my thing: money don't win elections. We just wasted $1 billion. We literally.
Come on.
We lost an election, but even when it comes to that, Shontel Brown didn't have the campaign money, the backing that Nina Turner had, and she still stomped that ass twice. So money does not win elections. We already know that. What actually wins elections is when you galvanize and actually get people inspired to turn out and vote for you. Remember, big dollar donors weren't giving Kamala Harris any type of money. They did not want to back her. It took 40,000 Black women on a Zoom call to jump on that Zoom and raise money out of their own pockets for people to see the value. Same thing when it comes to content creators. Because we're busting through these doors now, they're starting to see our value. Now they want us on their channels. Now they want to interview. Now they want to take us seriously. So what I'm telling you right now, that doesn't mean shit. None of that shit made shit. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But as far as Chuck Schumer goes, I think it's a cop-out. And I think it's straight bullshit. I don't think that he's not thinking rationally. He's sitting here saying that, a government shutdown will be catastrophic, but what's going on or what's about to happen is already catastrophic. Are we not already? It hasn't been full 2 months yet. 50% of people in the Department of Education have lost their jobs. Donald Trump isn't following any of the court orders reinstating these people back to their jobs.
They're going to lose their jobs.
Right.
You just gave this man a blanket check to do whatever the fuck he wants to do for the next 6 months, unchecked. Which you just fed into Project 2025.
Ever denied that? So many people, because I was looking for the right clip. I looked at several different clips on YouTube trying to find the right clip to share with the audience. Not one time did Chuck Schumer deny the fact that he gave Donald Trump a blank check.
Right.
That's unchecked exactly right. Power.
That's unbalanced. And let me bridge the gap of the point that we're making, because I think Kenny's point and I think Zach's point from earlier, I just want to bridge that gap. Not saying we don't need money. What I'm saying is we need that vision. What we're saying is we want, and even the hundreds of millions of dollars that were donated through the Act Blue account that Kamala Harris had. So I think the statistic was that over 60% of those hundreds of millions of dollars came from small dollar donations, right? I'm saying, so the overwhelming majority. So the whole point is that we want ideas and visions that connect with the vast majority of people. But Chuck Schumer, back to Chuck Schumer. Because again, I don't think he's gotten a lot of smoke, but I don't think he's gotten enough motherfucking smoke. And I need people to be unafraid. Because I saw somebody in my DMs hit me up in my DMs and said, please don't attack Leader Schumer. You're playing into the Republicans' hand. What the fuck are you talking?
Leader Schumer.
But Zach, this is what some of the people that, and I hate to say it, some of the people that are the old guard people that are in my DM saying the same thing. I need people to be unafraid to be able to speak truth to power in this moment. We will never.
He's ineffective. He has to go.
We will never. Right.
If they don't see that, then I'm sorry for him. But this ain't fuck that. Go tell that shit to goddamn James Carville. Right. We're not James Carville.
Right. I agree. Jesus. But I agree. But what I'm saying is,
we don't just attack black people.
Right. Here's what I'm saying though. Right. What I'm saying is that we got to be even the people, because I consider us in that as well, and I consider people that are just folks watching this stream right now, and people who are tuned into politics and who follow us and tune into politics. I don't want them to be unafraid to do it either, because then I see the other side of it, which is people quietly. Well, I'm glad you're speaking up, but they don't want to speak up themselves, and I don't. I want people.
How do we hold people accountable if we don't tiptoe around a motherfucker? We need to tell it to their damn face. If we don't see, this is the thing. Anybody a Harry Potter fan? What did Dumbledore tell us? It takes a great deal of strength to stand up to your itty bitties, but it takes real courage to stand up to your friends.
Yeah.
Check their ass when they fuck up and when they step out of gear, because when you start seeing somebody acting outside of their character, it's our job as your friend to check you. So if y'all ever see me acting weird or acting some type of strange, something out of my character, I hope everybody here checks my black ass. Nobody's beyond reproach. Not even Chuck, old roachy ass motherfucking ass. I'm sick of it.
And I also want to give a shout out to Zach. Because Nancy Pelosi, his favorite Nancy Pelosi, did call out Chuck Schumer, and I want to give a shout out to Zach, who, although he really disagrees and does not like Nancy Pelosi, Nancy D'Alessandro Pelosi, he did agree with her on that, but he still doesn't like her. But I do want to give Zach his credit. Now, Zach, I'm going to toss it to you, and I want you to put the camera on you and make you big, because I want you to hear what Nancy Pelosi
Nancy Pelosi.
Now, Nancy Pelosi did tear into him, though. She
There's
did.
a
She said,
story
"Listen,
behind this.
She needs to tear her ass into a motherfucking retirement package and go the fuck home."
She's also part of the.
I think a lot of people don't know exactly why he's upset with Nancy. For those who may not know the backstory, are you going to give them the real story before they be like, "Oh, he just hating on Nancy. Nancy did so much for Democrats. He's the reason why we got the Affordable Care." You know how they like to do clip these things. You might want to explain it.
Babe, let me clip. Clip it. Send this directly to Nancy Pelosi and send it to her. What's her husband's name?
Paul.
Send it to fucking Paul too. Send it to Paul. Send it to Nancy and Paul and them children, because they sat up here and they had all of this to say about pass the torch on Joe Biden. Nancy Pelosi was 100% behind this attack, and I will never forgive her or anybody, including Kenny's favorite Barack Hussein Obama, for what they did to Joseph Robinette Biden and the administration. There are ways that should have been handled. There are ways to get and convince someone to do the right thing, to pass the torch or whatever it is you thought they should do. But what it was not appropriate to do is get your old Vagar-looking ass out in the public platform and put this out for the whole entire world to see, further sabotaging the 2024 election and Vice President Harris's eventual chances of becoming our president. And that's what Nancy Pelosi did, because she never wanted Kamala, in addition to how she was trying to take down Joe, and that worked. And I will never forgive her. Her entire political legacy, in my eyes, is now forever gone, because there will never be a great day that will come here where I will say anything positive about that woman moving forward. So that's why I feel the way I feel about Nancy, and it's not going to change.
She was instrumental in helping to dismantle democracy by trying to take away the will of the people.
Here's what Morgan for the super chat.
And the super chat, and can I also say that these are the small dollar donations that I'm talking about, that make we inspire the folks, and that's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Citizen_Morgan on the check-in. Now look, I want to say this too, because I don't know that, in terms of people coming out, apparently there's been new reporting on Axios that said that there are more people calling on Schumer to step down behind the scenes. So, Axios gets all this insider reporting, but I agree with that. And the question to you fellas is, do you think he's actually going to do it?
Unless we push it, we can bully him out of it. No, we can bully his ass up out of there. It's going to take real Democrats to do so. It's going to take elected officials to do so. It's going to take a whole movement, a grassroots movement, to complain about Chuck every fucking day until we bully him out of his fucking position. If they could do it to Biden, we can do it for Chuck, and Chuck ain't about that motherfucking life. Obviously, he can't be, if he can turn a coat in just 24 hours, actually 14 hours, saying, "I'm going to stand on damn business." You ain't about shit, bitch. Okay, we can bully that ass up out of office. We could. Well, you're gone, Chuck. Get the fuck, Chuck. You're out of here.
We'll go. Okay, you asked that question. I want to say now, Vince is in. Vince, our show is coming Monday nights. It's on the way. So every Monday Monday nights we'll have live. Then Tuesday it's going to be on the replay. So it's coming, Vince. Your whole show is coming. But also in a moment after Brian's comments, we're going to talk about bullying and pressure being applied, because I want to show and kind of shift a little bit to some town halls clips that we've seen this week, and then what the ramifications really are and what it really represents, and the inverse action Republicans are taking. Brian.
Well, let me just say this because I think it's going to be a good segue to the Republicans being yelled at in their town halls. We are, as I always say on this show and on my show and everywhere else, we are equal opportunity over here, motherfucking hands. I don't want anybody to fucking forget that motherfucking Mitch McConnell, on top of his glitching and freezing, his ass can't hear shit. Did y'all see him at that press conference when he was trying to get asked that question and he couldn't hear nothing? That bitch had to come in right here. Motherfucker was.
At least he didn't freeze. You know what I'm saying? He'd be stuck and froze like we're playing freeze tag.
But my argument is his ass need to go to, and Chuck Grassley, who's 91 years old. People got to do a Chuck Grassley. I'm going to start doing a Chuck Grassley watch on my shit because motherfucker is 91 years old and he is still the crip keeping ass on that committee.
But now we have had several people ask, is there redemption for Chuck?
No. Now when Democrats already have a messaging problem right now and they're already skating on thin ice, why would you add ammunition to continue voter disenfranchisement where people are already struggling with voter apathy, even trusting our party and don't believe that they actually have the best interest for the people who put them in office? Why would you do this? We are already struggling right now, and I can't sit here and spend all my day with good talking points to defend you guys, but what you did was indefensible. I can't stand on that. There's nothing I can do. There's no flipping this shit.
Kenny, and Kenny, let me add to your point. The new poll that said that the Democrat Party has a 27% approval rating among Democrats. Democrats, we're talking about the 27 approval rating, like 27% is horrendous. But you know, on Chuck Schumer, let me say also this: Chuck Schumer was on record saying he's not good.
That'll be next week's topic to dig into those polls. He sent me a great article. Hopefully next week we'll dig into that if no other craziness happens.
Was it the Vox article?
Yeah, it was a part of it. It was a whole bunch of stuff, but it's some good information.
That Vox.
We have a call about it. There's so many calls I've gotten a lot of creator calls that are like happening. Some happened last week, some happened this week, all around that data.
Yeah, Geechee, shout out Geechee on the check-in. Let me say this, Geechee, that article on Vox was fucking phenomenal. And I got my key takeaways. So if that's going to be next week's show on top of Isaiah Martin, I'm ready because I got my fucking talk about it.
And we can talk to Isaiah about it as well because he's going to be on some of those calls. So yeah, that could be the focus. If nothing crazy happens.
Perfect. Let me make this point. Chuck Schumer was also on record saying that he wasn't going to fight back hard until the Republican, and listen to this because I don't want to undersell this, until the Republican approval rating was 40%. Until Trump's approval rating was 40%, because it's currently because it was currently at 48%, and he's like, "Well,
it's coming down. It's coming down." Chuck, guess what, motherfucker? He's not running again, so it doesn't matter.
Even though Steve Bannon was on record being interviewed by Chris Cuomo saying, "Oh yeah, he'll run again." And by the way, his argument, because I don't know if y'all saw that too, his argument is they're gonna say ahead of time, and I want y'all to hear this shit here first. They're going to say that because the 2020 election was stolen, which it was not, they're going to say that because it's the Constitution is not clear in the term limits, they're going to say because he didn't serve consecutive term limits that he can run again in 2028. This is what they setting this shit up for.
They're going to say, but come on, Donald Trump is 82 years old or whatever, 78 for the
I agree, but motherfucking Chuck Grassley's 91.
Out of jail. Anything that keep his ass out of jail.
Right, and Chuck Grassley's 91. So I'm just saying, I'm saying what they're saying publicly. These motherfuckers was saying shit about Project 2025 publicly before the mainstream media covered it. Then we fucking broke the news, and then the mainstream media came later. So I want us to be very aware of what they're saying. And plus, CPAC had all these banners around CPAC that said 2028 Trump.
Yeah. We'll see. I would love to see it. I mean,
a lot of people don't believe that any of this stuff was even possible. The fact that he's going against the court.
His bowels together. Now let's just see how it progresses in 4 years.
That the rules are different for them. We will literally kick somebody out if they stutter or stumble with their words, but they don't give a damn about eating cats and dogs or grabbing pussy or being liable for sexual assault or being a felon with 34 felony counts. No, they don't care about that stuff. The rules are different for them. They are beyond reproach.
So again, and I want to, I'm not. There's nothing that Chuck Schumer can do in my eyes for redemption. But I'm a Scorpio, and that's kind of how we are. But we have some good comments here about from Poetic Justice. Be careful tearing people down before you, because people are asking, well, if not Chuck Schumer, who? I'll answer first. You guys can say who you think you. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you this, but there are very few people. There is no senator that they need to figure that out. That's not my problem.
I know who.
And
I have
say
somebody.
that because in terms of Democrats in the Senate, I'm sorry, I hate to tell you this, but it's a very ineffectual bunch currently. They just are. They just are. The ones who I thought would be able to step in there and be of worth have disappointed me a great deal. And I'll leave it at that for now. So, yeah, I'm not very excited about any Democratic senator at the current moment. I thought I was a fan of Catherine Cortez Masto, but I promise you, as soon as I think I like someone, they turn right around and say, "Gotcha."
Yeah, no.
Look out for my senator. No, look out for my senator, Angela Alsabrook, Lisa Blunt. I know, but look, she's a rising star.
Yeah.
My pick is Chris Murphy. My pick is Chris Murphy. If not motherfucking Chuck Schumer, Chris Murphy has been in these streets doing the motherfucking work. And if you don't know what type of work it is, go ahead and Google the shit. Go on his page. See how he's been messaging. See how he's been being interviewed. See how much of a straight shooter he's been being. And see what type of new ideas he's pushing forward. I think for me, if not Chuck Schumer, Chris Murphy from Connecticut.
With that being said, with that being said, we're gonna go to some of these town halls and we're gonna look at and kind of what's being said. That's a good. Just a reminder again. I know we have 162 people watching us on the Malcolm X app, and watch us there, and that's great. And we're only on there because we know that that's where our friends reside. But if you are a real friend, we really need you to go onto your Google account and watch us on the YouTube, because YouTube is a platform that values, supports, and appreciates content creators like us. Every post that I post on the Malcolm X app is full of bots and trolls, not even real people, calling me racist names and homophobic slurs. Now, I'm a man of strong constitution and steel, so it really doesn't bother me.
Right.
Because those words mean nothing. I have a really wonderful life that I love and value a great deal. That is an earned life, a life based on merit. Merit. But I think about all the other people that are on there who are receiving those bullying comments and how it may affect them, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting that it's allowed to exist. That platform is fucking trash. It's trash. It hasn't been kind to us. It hasn't been kind to you. Watch us on YouTube, a platform that values the work that we do and the contributions that we are making in our fight to save American democracy. And we don't just value the American democracy that value. We value town halls like this.
I've never been involved in politics before, but this is.
Oops, hold on. My bad. I was trying to go back to comments. Let me know if you can see, because
we can see it. It didn't go away.
You can see it, but you can't hear it because it's fickle.
It's getting
can you
really
hear it?
Scary. Yes. Okay. So the things that frighten me is the way this insane president talks about Canada as a 51st state. Yeah. Taking Panama by force and buying Greenland. How does this person qualify as sane? Why is he not being impeached right now?
And they're cheering, by the way. They're cheering. It's inaudible right now, but they're cheering.
And there's like a funny thing that happened after, and I'll show that's coming. The funny thing with him is coming. So if you guys haven't seen it, you'll see it. But if you've seen it, don't give it away.
But standing ovation
for Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So, in short, I don't support us absorbing Canada. Canada, that would be like taking. Canada's been a good neighbor. Canada is much more liberal and left wing than the United States. If we took Canada. Taking Canada would be like taking another California. It would tilt things towards the Democrats.
And they're all booing him. By the way, they're booing him.
Yeah. If we took Canada, the Republicans would never have control again. So we don't want that to happen. On the other two, if we could get Greenland peacefully, I'm all for it. And we should have never given up Panama.
And they're booing them.
This is a question that comes from Barbara and can serve as our concluding question for the night regarding checks and balances between the different branches of government. Given the trajectory of the administration, the continued agreement of the Republican Party, is there a line in the sand for you? That is to say, is there any point at which you might stand up and tell them no? What is?
They're cheering.
In the interest of your people in Eastern Washington, what is your line in the sand? Well, in general, I swore an oath to the Constitution. It's very serious to me. I swore an oath to the Constitution before I went to Iraq. I swore an oath to the Constitution becoming a member of Congress. I would say that I understand this room is different than the rest of Eastern Washington, but you guys...
Booing his ass.
Yeah, he's literally saying, like, they're not even... He's saying that they're not from the area and they're Democrats. That's what he's trying to say, that the crowd is full of, like, strangers and Democrats.
I'm not saying you're being disingenuous in your heart of hearts, but you have a perception that America is spiraling to some kind of constitutional crisis.
And they're cheering that. They're like, yeah, that's what the fuck we're saying.
And by and large, while I would have some disagreements with President Trump on some things like tariffs and some other issues, by and large, what people of America see, what people of Eastern Washington see, is President Trump delivering on his promises. And so
some people are leaving.
Yeah, yeah, Brian.
All I'm going to say is that, you know, I there have been reports, like even the one in Georgia, and we talked about this in a previous episode. I see and I understand that there may be some Democrats in there, but some Democrats are going to these town halls because they're represented by a Republican, sadly, right? Because of redistricting and all that stuff. But at the same time, you can't convince me that in all of these town halls across all the states, you're telling me that Democrats are 100% of the people in every one of those town halls. No, I don't buy it. There are some Republicans in there and they are pissed off about this shit too. And they're calling this shit out. So I'm glad that we're seeing a consistent stream of this and this is sustaining itself, because I don't want us just to have been seeing it last week, 2 weeks ago, and it's just that one-off situation. I want to see this constantly. And by the way, the Republicans in the seats, they're really shooting themselves in the foot. If they really think that, oh, I can come in here and I can talk shit to everybody here, like that is you clearly have missed the plot about what politics is. You are an elected representative representing the people in that district. You are not there because you were hired by Trump. As much as you guys are afraid of Trump because you're afraid that Elon Musk is going to use millions of dollars to primary you, like what you're seeing in fucking Wisconsin, like you saw the hundreds of millions of dollars that he put into the general election to try to get Trump elected. You're afraid that you're going to get primaried and lose that good health care and lose that $174,000 salary. But the people who put you into that motherfucking seat and the people who you have to make a compelling case and persuasive case to get you elected back in that seat are the people in that motherfucking room. So you better act and fucking recognize like you motherfucking been somewhere. This is the motherfucking problem. They're not understanding it. They're shooting themselves in the foot. What do y'all think?
You know, I hope so. I do think that to a certain extent that some of the people at the town halls are Democrats, and maybe even in his case, they may have been Canadian. Okay, they may have been Canadian. They really may have. They could have come down because it's the western part of Washington State. They could have come down from Canada. But regardless, I think it's an absolute refusal of Republicans to want to hear from their constituents because they think that their constituents don't really matter. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump and his will supersedes the will of the people. And they also believe that Donald Trump has more say over the people than the actual legislation that they're passing. And that's why next week I want to talk about the numbers. I think it's a good thing that the overall people's opinion of Donald Trump is dropping to 47% approval. But on the flip side, that is still that's one of the highest approval ratings a man has ever had over the course of 2 terms. So it's not really great news. And number 2, I don't really look at the overall approval rating of Donald Trump from polls from like of all people. I look at it from Republicans, and this man is still very popular among Republicans, and that's the problem. That's the concern, is that the things that he's doing is still not moving the needle. A part of that is because we put the blame on people like Elon Musk, even though Elon Musk has no power. And we're letting people like this representative off the hook. The blame is 100% on the Republicans in Congress. I don't even blame Donald Trump as much as I blame the Republicans in Congress, because Donald Trump isn't doing anything that he didn't say he was going to do. Everything that Donald Trump is doing is outlined and delineated in Project 2025, and this is Project 2025 come to life. So you can't be mad at him for doing what he said he was going to do. And so when people go out there and say that he is enacting, he's doing what he said he would do, promise made, promises kept, that's true. It is. But Republicans have a responsibility, those who are elected to Congress, to uphold the three branches of government and maintain the sanctity of American democracy and the sanctity of the three branches of government. And they're choosing to not do that. They're failing. So this man is very accountable, almost as much being accountable to the American people as he should be to his wife. And I just want to briefly show this clip. Very brief.
That being said, how will you respond to the allegations that you've been using the LGBT dating app Grindr in secret?
So he was at the RNC who was blowing it up.
Well, they're saying that he's using it right there in Western Washington.
You know what? That's not surprising to me.
I mean, it's not surprising. I was shocked that he asked that question in the town hall. I did not see that clip before right now.
Kudos to that Patriot. Kudos to that Patriot. They don't play games out. They don't play games on the West Coast.
But you know, evangelicals love a good glory hole.
The press. Who said something about a glory hole? Oh my God.
I said, evangelicals love a good glory hole. Hallelujah.
Well, they ain't the only ones. No, I'm joking. So let me say, Don Lemon said this was on a podcast being interviewed about this, and he said he went with Bakari Sellers to Trump Tower on the night of the election, not this election, the first election, the 2016. And Bakari Sellers was like, well, let's go to Trump Tower. Let's just pull up, whatever. And he was like, no. He was like, no. I don't want to pull up. And he's like, are you crazy? He's like, no, I'm not afraid of my physical safety. I just don't want to go there because I know these Republicans are they always hit on me. And and Bakari Sellers, who's a straight man, was like, you think every man is gay. And Don Lemon was like, no, let me show you. So they end up going, but Bakari Sellers and Don Lemon end up going to the Trump Tower, and all these white Republican men were hitting on Don Lemon at the bar, buying him drinks and trying to rub up. This is actually, he was on an interview. He was being interviewed by Bill Maher, and he put that video out, and I saw that literally today. And there's also that report that Grindr went down at the RNC. It crashed. Because all these Republican men are repressed and, they want to have sex with men, but they just want to do it at the comfort of the RNC. I mean, this is what's being reported, allegedly. You ain't going to sue me, allegedly. But it's been reported. I mean, it's out there. So I'm not saying.
Straight men do not come around me at all. It never has happened and never will. I'm just telling you. And it's a certain kind. I'll be quiet.
Yeah, we are in mixed company. But I'll say this, Kenny, because you look like you had something. Kenny, you said you look like you had something to say.
No, I was just gonna echo Zach's point, because that was literally the only thing that I was thinking about. Being the mere fact that Donald Trump is fulfilling his campaign promise. The fact that he's taking away the powers from the three branches of government was laid out in Project 2025. And in every interview, even by Don Lemon, and you can go look at his page, he interviewed Republican voters saying, well, what do you think about Donald Trump being a threat to democracy? Do you think that, are you absolutely okay with voting for a dictator? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with autocracy? They said, yes, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about if tariffs hurt me. I don't care. Every time we talk to these voters about the things that was going to happen, and it's
And
sad
that's
that
my
we're not
point.
even 2 months in, that these people said that they don't care. And even looking at the price of eggs, and remember, the reason why they didn't vote for Kamala Harris is because of the economy and the price of eggs. But anytime when Trump
That's
got
the
in
lie they
office,
told.
I know, but when he got in office, all of a sudden the goalposts moved. Well, we don't care about the price of eggs. We care about the border, or we care about immigration, or we care about trying to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. They care about whatever Donald Trump cares about in this moment. It is a cult. These people can't be helped. So the proof is in the pudding. So it's cute that y'all show up to these town halls, but are you going to show up to the polls and actually vote against Republicans? That's the only question that I have, because it's hard for me to have empathy for somebody when you voted for the very thing that you quote unquote say that you don't like.
And can I say this? Oh, go ahead, Zach. Go ahead, Zach.
No, I was gonna say he's right. There's another video of a very viral town hall that was held in Nebraska, Nebraska's
Yes.
first district, a 55-point Trump district, and now the people there are up in arms, mad as hell about the cutting of cancer research and what Doge is doing. And you voted
Yes.
for Trump plus 55. It's one of the reddest districts, pro-Trump districts in the country. And you have the audacity to be angry that he is doing what you elected him to do. I do not know if anything can move the needle with these people. I just don't know if anything can move the needle, because they're voting for something that's much bigger than legislation in their mind. They're voting for something so much bigger. They're voting for something much bigger. And you know what it is. We all know what it is. And that's what they're voting for.
Well, and Zach, let me add to that point that part of that acceleration of getting to there would have been shutting the fucking government down. I hate to say it, but shutting the government down would have caused more disruption. It would have caused more
point.
It would have caused more disruption. It would have caused more chaos, and literally would have stopped payments to people. Literally would have disrupted more, like even more. Like, yes, he's shutting down parts of the government. He is firing staffs. He is making these agencies inoperable, because if he's like, well, here's the point that a lot of people are not saying. If he has to go through Congress to be able to legislatively, legally shut down these offices, he's trying to half the staffs, cut the staffs, fire all these people to literally shut it down. Because if you have nobody staffing the offices, if you have nobody manning the computers and sending out the benefits to the people, then it's shut down. It's inoperable. It's shut down. So he's gonna shut it down no matter what. So you're over here literally, let's stop the fucking bullshit, have it all shut the fuck down, and you wasted it. You fucking wasted it, and this is why you gotta fucking go. I understand, and look, there was gonna be mass damage to people, and it was gonna hurt people. Yes, we understand that, but guess what? You would have used it as leverage if you were smart, if you were strategic. And you're not. You're not made for this moment, Chuck. You're not. And that's the
short-term pain for a long-time goal.
But Trump said, "Oh, there's going to be a little pain." But if you're bailing him out by passing this and creating that's what it's called, the stopgap fund bill, because you're going to fucking fund the shit for the next 6 months. Now nobody feels so. Now it feels like everybody who's been saying this shit is going to be a fucking terrible thing is, oh, well, they were lying. It gives them ammunition. You can't now say, oh, well, it's going to shit and you're going to lose your benefits if now people continue to get their benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know the information and we're going to still put it out there because this is what the fuck is happening, and there's going to be pain. But now you're slowing down the pain, and I understand it, but now people are going to look at you like you're crazy, like we're lying.
No, they're going to feel it.
Well, but again, do you see my point though about how like that's real? Like he bailed them out, and now Trump can take a victory lap. And now all these people got to do is do the appropriations bills and fucking pass with 51 votes the reconciliation package, which will gut $880 billion on Medicare and Medicaid, and they're going to cut Social Security, and they're going to give $4.5 trillion in tax cuts to the ultra wealthy. This is what's happening. But nobody want to connect them dots. Nobody should be in my motherfucking DMs. And I didn't curse you out because I didn't fucking, I'm like, look, I'm beyond it. But motherfucking the DMs talking about Chuck, don't come after Chuck. Don't, how dare you come after Chuck?
like Chuck Schumer isn't a billionaire buddy. Like Chuck Schumer himself is not a billionaire buddy.
That's where I transition to the motherfucking bucket hat, bitch. That's where I transition to the. Where we at? Where we at? Here we go. This is why I transition. The billionaire motherfucking buddies. Boom. Ain't that
Well,
some
he
shit?
looked buddy buddy. Well, he looked buddy buddy with Trump in that Oval. Do we have that photo?
I think we all posted it and shared it, but I didn't resurface it or bring it up. We get ready to wrap up with two other current events that I think just because you guys made great content around it. And I think it would be really good to just share with the audience because I think it's really good. So if you guys, of course, you need to follow all three of us, of course, if you can on social media. Instagram is, for social media purposes, the platform that I think that we're encouraging people to go to because we know it's going to be here. And it's Mentally Divine Official, and it's Too Raw, Too Real, and it's Activist on the Instagram. Every Tuesday night, Brian is here live with his own YouTube show, Mentally Divine Podcast. Is that still the name of it, Brian?
The Mentally Divine Podcast, baby. I was gonna change the name, but guess what, bitch? We here, we live.
We're live.
That's what it is,
and it's monetized. So catch his show. If you missed this week, go back and watch it. It's still up. You go into your YouTube, you click live on his channel, you can see it. Of course, our lives are also cataloged on the YouTube. For those watching on Twitter, I take it down immediately because, again, I'm just sharing with friends because we know we have friends there, but it's not to give engagement to that platform because I don't, how I feel about that platform. The same thing goes for Kenny. His YouTube page is K Walden 1993. And then his, of course, Too Raw, Too Real on Instagram. They both had great videos this week. And you can see me at The Activist. And I post every day a whole bunch of stuff. But I want to share first Kenny's video because this is a huge. Oh, and who is Ariel said? Or earlier, who is Ariel said? I can't. Listen, I don't look at straight men. I don't look at a certain kind of man. So if you look even like if you're a straight passing man, I'm not looking at you because that's not what I like. I think that's an easy way of just making it very plain and clear. I have, what I like, and that's not it. So Kenny posted this video because I forgot to respond to you earlier. Who was Ariel? But you may be banned from Instagram. If so, you can also follow us on TikTok, the exact same names, as long as there is a TikTok. But baby, TikTok, you got 30 minutes. You actually have like 22 days. 22 days. Kenny this week came out and said, I'm the wrong one. Kenny said, and Kenny, I want to talk about, are we still standing by this?
Go ahead.
I know you're thinking about it, but don't do it, bitch. Get your black ass back in the motherfucking house and put that cake back in the motherfucking closet. We're not doing it. You're not going to be on the front lines of any motherfucking movement, bitch. The only front line you're going to be on is the motherfucking cha-cha line and the motherfucking cruise ship, bitch, because we're not going to be at it. You heard what the fuck I said? Don't you fucking do it. Okay? Let they ass sit in it so they can learn.
Oh, hold on. David had got me mad.
Learn from it. I know you're thinking about being Captain motherfucking Saberho, but no motherfucking moho. No motherfucking mo. It is not our lesson to motherfucking learn. If they do not go through it, they will never learn from it. The problem is white people have been bailed out all their motherfucking life and never been held accountable for shit. They've been bailed out by their parents, bailed out by the motherfucking judge, bailed out by the motherfucking system. They have never been held accountable, which is why we are dealing with the shit that we're dealing with right now with this past election. Every motherfucking damn opportunity we gave them to build a community and join us to save democracy, they spat in our fucking face and told us we don't know what the fuck we're talking about because they think they know every fucking thing. Don't you take your black ass out there. Because if you go out there on the front lines and someone throws a brick, your black ass will be shot in the fucking streets and you will die and you will be a martyr. And guess what? No lesson will be motherfucking learned because, again, black people have been called to the front of the fucking line to be the sacrificial fucking lamb for motherfuckers who will never learn a motherfucking lesson, who will never fucking do the same thing for us. You hear what I'm saying? So you sit your black ass in that motherfucking house. You sit your ass still until you know it's time to get the fuck up. Don't worry about it. It's instinctual. We will know when's the motherfucking time to act. But right now...
Excellent. Excellent.
Kitty came with that piece of content. But I want to say, too, you know what? I have proof. I was watching Democracy Now. And I know some of you guys probably out there watch Democracy Now. It's what I watch it. I love it. I was mad at them when they were doing what they were doing from with Joe Biden and Kamala, but whatever. I do watch them now because I do want to stay abreast of what's happening around the world in regards to democracy. I do want to stay abreast of the genocide that's happening in various parts of the world. I want to know, and so I watched Democracy Now. And so, literally, there was a protest at the. I think it was the protest for Mahmoud, and there was. No, I'm sorry. It was a protest of Chuck Schumer. I should have added the clips in, and there were two people. There were students who were protesting Chuck Schumer's office. 2 people got arrested, or I think 5 people. 2 of them were, guess what?
Black.
And the only 2 that made the news were 2 black men. 2 black men. You took your black asses out there to protest Chuck Schumer, and you got arrested.
Of course.
And now you're the poster faces of the arrest. So they're looking for us. I mean, but on the other side of it, Kenny, I do want to say on the other side, we saw at these town halls, there are no black people in those town halls, and white people are stepping up and they're doing the right work.
That's exactly right. I agree. I agree with that.
I don't look. I'm not gonna believe it until proof is in the motherfucking pudding. Until they show up to the polls. I don't give a fuck, and I do not trust you. What part of that do they not understand? But as I said, there will be no black boots on the ground unless it's where them fans that. And I want to see every black person enjoying their time resting because we did our big one. We tried to save democracy. We tried to save this country from itself, but the onus can't always be on us. With all the anti-blackness that I saw in this election, the misogynoir, the just blatant racism, and the fact that people kept telling black people we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, and then also seeing certain groups and diasporas of people and people of color attacking DEI as if that there was no intersectionality when it comes to POC and the black community. So this is not our lesson to learn. You can't tell us about oppression, okay? It's built in the very foundation of this nation, and we were able to wiggle our way out to freedom. You know what I'm saying? So don't tell us what we already know to be true. A lot of people are still looking for the proximity to whiteness because they find safety in supremacy, and that's just not how we operate. Black people, we will know instinctively when it's time to get up. Just like we know instinctively, before anybody even said anything, before there was a video done, every black person in America was on the same damn time, and we knew to sit the fuck down and sit the fuck out. Right now, they're trying to bait us by attacking what the Black Lives Matter. What
the street.
We never asked for that shit. All we asked for was legislation. We don't give a fuck about a damn street.
It was a nice cherry on top, but baby, there was no ice cream in the bowl.
Wasn't even no damn cherry. That wasn't shit. That was sugar on shit. You hear what I'm saying? We didn't ask for any of these things. We didn't ask for Aunt Jemima to be removed from the syrup bottle. We didn't ask for any of this performative shit. We asked for legislation.
Right.
But rather than giving us something substantive, you gave us some sugar on some shit, and you're trying to bait black people. And now the new thing is they're trying to put up this whole segregation thing. Oh, in federal agencies or non-contractors, they can be segregated as if this is going to get black people to the front of the line. So that way, when we get to the front of the line, we'll be shot in the streets. I don't fucking think so. We're not taking the bait. We're minding our black ass business and we're resting.
We're not going to fight you to spend our money with you. It's a different day and age. We are not dependent on public transportation to get to and from work as we were in Montgomery. We are not dependent on your Woolworth sandwiches to feed us because we have to work downtown and there's no other venues and spaces in the downtown space. Our black dollar has power. If you don't believe us, ask Target and then ask Costco. Look at how Costco has prospered while Target has suffered and will continue to suffer. Very well may never recover. Ask Tesla. The combined power of all the communities that are united together who support diversity, equity, and inclusion and saving democracy. There's power in our work, in our dollar, and in our community. So who gives, they can do all that they're doing. Again, I think you're right, Kenny. It's a way to try to bait us, rile us up, have us fight and get motivated and activated together in the front lines. It's not going to happen.
Right. And let me say this to Kenny's point and to Kenny's video. There is, I don't know, y'all don't watch wrestling. I don't know who people in the comment section watch wrestling, but there is a wrestling meme that goes like this. It's basically when something is motherfucking good, they just call it cinema. And that's what that video was, bitch. That video was cinema. Not Kirsten, but cinema. And so speaking of Tesla.
Not speaking of cinema. Oh. Okay, speaking of cinema, you don't do my damn transitions. You trying to do my transitions. I transition. Okay, I got my transitions. That's what a producer does. And so with the transition, speaking of cinema and Tesla, bridging the two together, we have this great piece of art that was also created this week.
Elon Musk was just on Fox News on ketamine. Sad as fuck that Tesla just lost billions of dollars and said that you're a bad person because you don't.
Oh, hold on, wait. I'm gonna even rewind that back. Bitch, he said on Fox News on ketamine, sad as fuck.
That's true. It's true.
That was one of the bars of the year.
Don't buy Tesla.
They want to hurt Tesla.
I gotta start
just on Fox News on ketamine. Sad as fuck that Tesla just lost billions of dollars and said that you're a bad person because you don't buy Tesla.
They want to hurt Tesla. They're bad people. Bad people will do bad things.
On March 10th, it was reported that Elon Musk lost $100 billion so far this year. Then the next day, Tesla lost $127 billion in value. And it's gotten so bad that on March 18th, even the Tesla board executives have sold $100 million of their stocks in recent weeks. It's not just because Tesla's a bad fucking car. What Elon Musk is doing to this country with Doge trying to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, education funding, and food stamps to find $4.5 trillion for tax cuts to the ultra wealthy. 60% of Americans are unhappy with what Doge is fucking doing. And it's not just in America. International Business Times UK also talks about a boycott happening in England. This shit is global. Tesla's sales have fallen 76% in Germany. After he tried to interfere with their elections, the Germans were fucking hip to what the fuck he's doing. Germans are not fucking playing. 94% of Germans won't buy a Tesla after Musk's political antics. Teslas are getting torched in Berlin as surveys show Germans are deserting Elon Musk's car maker in droves. The world is saying, fuck Elon Musk.
The world.
Cinema.
The world. There's no coming back. People are literally going to dealerships saying, just take the damn car. Just take the car. They're literally saying, I don't care how much I lose. You don't have to pay me the value it's worth. Just take it. Because even people are afraid that the insurance companies are going to stop insuring the Teslas because of vandalism that's happening all across the country. Like,
yeah, you got people driving around with bumper stickers saying that, oh, I don't support Elon Musk. I bought this before he was a part of DOJ. So it's just like one of those things. But what he did wasn't smart. He's a dumbass when you really think about it. Why would he try to align himself with Republicans when he understands that Republicans don't believe in EV vehicles? Who supports EV and clean and renewable energy cars? Who does that? Democrats.
Right. What I love is the fact
that he aligned himself with that.
What I love is the fact that they thought that because Donald Trump got out there and said, get your asses out there and you buy a Tesla, that people were going to run and buy a Tesla. Baby, they can't afford no Tesla out in Tennessee where you done cut the pennies out. The penny plant in Tennessee where they make the damn copper, whatever the thing they need to have pennies. You have led to the unemployment of 3 different counties in Tennessee. They don't have any money to buy a Tesla, and there are no charging stations in those rural areas anyway. But they don't have internet. They wouldn't have had internet without Joe Biden. You're trying to take that from them anyway by repealing the Infrastructure Act. So they don't have internet. And you think that they're going to buy a Tesla when they don't have charging stations? In the words of Brian Baez, get the fuck out of here.
In all my jersey. Look, but let me say this. Zach and Kenny and everybody in the comment section, Elon Musk, you're a bad person because you don't buy Tesla and you don't support Tesla. So Kenny, you're a bad person, and Zach, you're a bad person because I know that you're in the market for a
mean one.
Y'all are bad. Listen, y'all are the bad people. Now, I'm abstaining because I have a 2009 Honda Civic that I still drive. And I'm not leaving that.
I'm tired of it.
No, listen.
Leave the Honda out of it. Leave that Honda out of it.
I'm so tired of him driving that car. I want him to get a new car so bad.
He wants to get a new car. But
hey, it gets you from point A to point B, right? And ain't nobody vandalizing your vehicle.
That's right. They not galvanizing. They not satellising.
If somebody satellize his vehicle, it's gonna be to like upgrade it.
Listen, and it's a shout out to I went to the Princeton dealership in New Jersey in 2018 when I bought that 2009 Honda Civic, and shout out to the granny that had that car before me who never drove it. And when I bought that shit in 2018 and it's a 2009, it only had 80,000 miles on it. Shit was never driven. And I still got it. Do you know? And the people in the comment section don't know this, but I want to say this. Do you know? I don't even say this. I don't think I've drove more than 100,000 miles on that car yet. I think I'm like at 90 something thousand. I don't really be going out nowhere. And if I do, I be Ubering or people pick me up. Zach picks me up. Zach picks me up. So
he don't want you to be seen in that Civic for some odd reason. He acting like it's being held together by barbed wire and bubble gum. Oh my God. It is not a bad car.
So when people started pulling out those the bumpers of the Tesla trucks, I'm like, oh, that's like what we do with Brian's car.
Don't be touching my shit. Not my motherfucking Honda Civic. Let me tell you something right now. You want to get the fuck out of here. That's a get the fuck out of here. I stand by my motherfucker. But let me say this for the people in the comments.
I want to say Brian is going to have this car until the car stops working. I don't have a doubt about it. Brian.
And it's not going to stop working. Car. It's a Honda.
He's not going to get a new car. He's going to keep that car. Brian does not care about a car. He doesn't care about those types of things. I don't care a great deal about them, but I do care enough. I'm like, okay, it's time for a new car. Like, it just gets to a point where it's like, okay, it's time for a new car. Like,
you know what my priority is? My ass is not getting no motherfucking car note. That's what my shit is. I bought that car off. I bought that car off in cash in 2018 when I was going into my grad program, and I was like, I need a motherfucking car. I was like, look, let me just buy this shit in cash. But that's where I stand. I'm not really a materialistic type of person. You know what I love? Love. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. I got a lobster tail coming to me. I gotta go. Y'all, it's 11:24. I got a lobster tail and some shrimp scampi coming over. I gotta go.
He has some tail coming over, lobster tail and shrimp scampi. I understand. We have gone over time. And, Brian loves love. And so he's going to love his lobster tail and shrimp scampi. Literally. So with that being said, everybody, thank you guys so much to the super chats. We got to give more of we love our super chats. Okay. Look, Citizen Morgan stepped up first and gave $5. Listen, because we will one day be able to move Kenny and Danny to Atlanta so we can all be in the studio and do a studio show. But this show right here is just good. We good like it is now. It's like it is. B Dizzle came through. We appreciate you, B Dizzle. Give B Dizzle a round of applause as well. And to Big Daddy, the Big Daddy Gemini, Cake Daddy, Dean Geechee Prince for a $10 super chat, right? That's what we're talking about. Because again, this money it's going to add up, and we're gonna be able to do some more stuff with it. Vince Ashton came through. Give Vince a round of applause. Five Guys on Live alumni, future seat holder of the Kings at the Table, the Monday Night Live show, and then TPMD with a super stick up $3. Listen, people, thank you so much. We appreciate it. With that being said, we will see you next week. Hopefully, we'll be discussing the data, all this data that got released, and really breaking it down and dissecting it, analyzing it, and of course, for me, critiquing it, unless, again, something else crazy happens. So with that being said, y'all, thank you so much, and we will see you next week.
Cinema.
Bye, y'all.
Satellites. Lobster tails and shrimp scampi, bitch.